If you felt emotionally unsettled over the past few days, lighter in some ways, raw in others, that's not coincidence. On March 3rd, a total lunar eclipse in Virgo forced a reckoning. Eclipses function as cosmic surgery, precise, sometimes uncomfortable, and ultimately necessary. This one targeted the parts of your love life running on fumes, the relationship that looked fine from the outside but felt hollow, the dating cycles you kept repeating, the quiet habit of making yourself smaller to keep someone else comfortable. That ending was deliberate. The universe was clearing space. Because on March 6th, Venus moves into Aries, and what arrives next requires room. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. In those signs, she's patient, sensual, diplomatic. In Aries, she operates on entirely different terms. This is love with momentum, direct, unashamed, willing to make the first move without waiting for permission or the perfect moment. For the next few weeks, that energy permeates everything. Subtle signals and strategic silences lose their power. The romantic advantage belongs to whoever is willing to be honest about what they want and go after it. That doesn't mean recklessness, it means clarity translated into action. If you've been sitting on feelings for someone, rehearsing a conversation in your head, or waiting for circumstances to align just right, this transit is telling you the circumstances are aligned. Move. If this kind of content resonates with you, subscribing keeps it coming. More on that at the end. Venus entering Aries would already carry weight, but she's walking into something historically significant. At the very first degree of Aries, the world axis, the zodiac's ignition point, Saturn and Neptune are forming a conjunction that occurs roughly every 36 years. Saturn governs structure, discipline, earned wisdom, and time. Neptune governs dreams, spiritual love, and the invisible threads connecting people. When these two planets meet, the seemingly impossible becomes achievable, but only through genuine effort. Within 48 hours of entering Aries, Venus triggers both planets in sequence. She conjuncts Neptune on March 7th, then Saturn on March 8th. This creates a rapid two-part filter for any new romantic connection. Neptune opens first. It delivers that soul-level recognition, the feeling that a connection is meaningful, almost fated, vivid, intoxicating, and real in its own way. Then Saturn arrives within a day and asks the harder questions. Is this person actually consistent? Are you seeing them clearly, or projecting an ideal onto someone still largely unknown? Can this hold up under ordinary circumstances? The connections that pass through both carry something durable. The ones that dissolve after Neptune's glow fades aren't failures. They're early answers, delivered quickly, saving time. The three signs most directly affected. Aries. Venus transiting your first house turns you into someone people gravitate toward without fully understanding why. The confidence is real, the magnetism is real, and the shift happening underneath is even more significant. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction at the start of your sign is rewriting your baseline expectations in relationships. The pattern of accepting less, whether out of habit, self-doubt, or the belief that wanting more made you too much, is ending. You're gaining a clearer, firmer sense of what you're actually worth, and that clarity is going to be obvious to everyone around you. The partners this energy draws toward you can match your pace. They're attracted to your directness, your confidence, your unwillingness to perform. The connection will move quickly, but Saturn grounds it from the start, so speed here reflects readiness rather than recklessness. Stop second-guessing. Make the move you've been sitting on. Libra. As the sign ruled by Venus, you feel her transits more deeply than most. When she crosses into Aries, she activates your 7th house, the house of committed partnership, and the mirror it holds up is unsparing. The eclipse on March 3rd cleared out patterns from your 12th house. The exhaustion of overgiving, the habit of smoothing things over at the expense of your own needs, the belief that keeping the peace is the same as having peace. That weight has been released. What Venus, Saturn, and Neptune are now asking of you in your partnership house is a different kind of first move. It's choosing your own standards before choosing a person. It's saying clearly what you need and observing whether someone rises to meet that rather than adjusting yourself to fit what someone else offers. Healthy love includes friction. It includes honest conversations and the occasional disappointment. The partner coming in for you is someone who handles directness well, who comes toward you with intention, and who doesn't need you to manage their emotional state. The moment you stop bending to accommodate people who never quite show up, that person becomes visible. Pisces. Venus leaving your sign might feel like a loss, but that departure is exactly what allows something to solidify. For years, Saturn and Neptune moving through your first house created a kind of identity fog, absorbing other people's emotions, questioning what was real versus projected, losing track of your own edges. As those planets move into Aries and cross into your second house of self-worth and tangible values, Venus joins them there. Your second house governs what you value and what you believe you deserve. Neptune is your ruling planet. It understands soulmate connections and deep spiritual love. But when Neptune aligns with Venus and Saturn in the house of worth, the message is grounded. You're allowed to have standards. The love you sense intuitively can exist in material reality. You don't have to choose between spiritual depth and someone actually showing up. The first move for Pisces often looks like a boundary, stating what you need, walking away from something that consistently takes without returning, refusing a half-present connection just because it feels familiar. The partner meant for you sees the full depth of who you are and demonstrates it with consistency, not just feeling. Trust your intuition and then let Saturn test it. What happens after you move? Making the move is the beginning, and the weeks that follow build on it. On March 10th, Jupiter stations direct in Cancer after months of retrograde. Jupiter here is nurturing and oriented toward long-term emotional security. It ensures that bold actions made under Aries energy are backed by genuine care rather than impulse. On March 18th, a new moon in Pisces offers a quiet reset, the final degrees of the final sign, a moment to set intentions for love without the residue of what came before. Then on March 20th, the spring equinox arrives alongside Mercury stationing direct. The astrological new year begins, communication clears, and forward momentum becomes unmistakable. This sequence is structured. You move, Jupiter stabilizes, the new moon deepens, and the equinox accelerates. The window for all of this centers on Venus's transit through Aries, which ends March 30th. The actual choice. The energy here is real, but it moves whether you engage with it or not. The people who act during this window, who send the message, start the conversation, state what they want, are the ones who look back on this month as a turning point. The hesitation that feels like caution is often just the old pattern, the one the eclipse already marked for release. You don't need certainty about the outcome. You need enough trust in yourself to take one clear step. The worst result is an honest answer. The best result is a connection that begins with you choosing it, and that origin matters because a relationship that started with your courage carries that quality forward. The portal is open. Take the step. If you want more content like this, subscribing is the best way to stay in the loop.